Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 10 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab, scroll down to grade 10 math, and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter points, lines, and segments. The lessons we're going to cover today are congruent life segments, perpendicular bisector theorem, midpoint formula, find the distance between two points. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down important examples and definitions as well. Let's just start with the lessons congruent line segments. If DE are BE and DE congruent, BE is 121 yards and DE is also 121 yards. So the both sides are exactly the same length. So BE and DE are congruent. Let's start with the test questions. Are PT and PQ congruent? So PT is 96 and PQ is also 96. So yes, they are congruent. The correct option is yes, they are congruent. Are P, R, and Q are congruent? PR is 128, QR is 180. They are not congruent because the side lines are not same, so they are not congruent. Are JK and NP congruent? No, yes, they are congruent. JK and NP, they are congruent. Yes, it is. Are KN and JK congruent? KN and JK. No, they are not congruent. Option number two is the correct option. Are EI and HI congruent? EI and H. No, they are not congruent. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is perpendicular bisector theorem. If FG and GH are congruent and FI equals 93, then what is HI? Since FG and GH are perpendicular, sorry, uh, FG is congruent to GH, G is equidistant from the point FH. Therefore, G lies on the perpendicular bisector of FH by perpendicular bisector theorem. Since G is on the perpendicular bisector theorem of FH, so angle FIG is not right triangle. GI is the perpendicular bisector of FH. So that means HI equals FI, that equals 93. Let's just start with the test questions. If CF is congruent to EF, CD equals 10, what is DE? If CD equals 10, then DE is also equal to 10. Option number 2 is the correct option. WX equals 78 and UX equals 66. What is VX? If Vx, what is Vx? Vx equals Ux equals 78. Hold on. VW is 78, Wx is 78, Ux is 66. So then Vx equals Ux plus UV. Ux is 66 and UV is also 66. That is 132. Option number 2 is the correct option. 132 it is. What is HI? HI and GHR. And HI is also the option number 1 is the correct option. R and RS are congruent and PS equals 83. What is PQ? So, according to the perpendicular bisector theorem, PS and EQ must be equidistant and happy congruent. So, that is 83. Option number one is the correct option. What is GH? GH equals 91. Option number two is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. You can just move on to next lesson. Next lesson is midpoint formula. A line segment has the endpoints T11, U37. Find the coordinates of its midpoint. The midpoint formula is x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. So that is -1 and -3. Let's just start with the test questions. A line segment has the endpoints G -4, -8, and H -8, 6. Find the coordinates of its midpoint formula. So this is x1, y1. This is x2, y2. X1, x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. So -6 and -1. The midpoint of the line segment is -6 and -1. Option number one is the correct option, that is negative 6 and negative 1. RS has endpoints 3, 1, and 1, 7. Find the midpoint M of RS. So the midpoint formula is M x1 plus x2 over 2 and y1 plus y2 over 2. So that is 2 and 4. Option number 1 is the correct option. 2 and 4. Correct option is 2, 4. Option number 1 is the correct option. JK has endpoints negative 6, negative 10, and K 8, 6. Find the midpoint M of JK. So that is x1 plus x2 over 2. That is 8 minus 6 over 2. 6 minus 10 over 2. That is 1 and negative 2. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 1 and negative 2. Option number 2 is the correct option. GH has the points 8, negative 4, and H has the coordinates negative 4, 0. Find the coordinates, find the midpoint M of GH. So which is the correct option? Option number 1 is the correct option. That is 2 and negative 2. A line segment has the endpoints 1, 1 and negative 3, negative 7. Find the coordinates of its midpoint M. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 1 and negative 3. V70 and W94 are the endpoints of a line segment. What is the midpoint of the line segment? So which is the correct option? Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 8 and 2. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself every day. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is find the distance between 2 points. Find the distance between the points 6, 8 and 6, 1. So now we're going to calculate the distance between the points. So the x coordinate is exactly the same. So just find the difference between their y coordinates and calculate their absolute values. So because distances are not negative, so 8 minus 1 is 7. So that means the distance between the point 6, 8 and 6, 1 is 7 units. Let's just start with the test questions. Find the distance between the points 6, 8 and 1, 8. So which is the correct option? That is 5. Option number 1 is the correct option. Find the distance between the points 6, 8 and 6, 1. So which is the correct option? Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 7. The distance between the points is 7. Find the distance between the points 4, 1 and 4, 7. So which is the correct option? The correct option is option number 2. The distance between the 2 points is 6 units. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 6 units. Find the distance between the points 10, 7, and 1, 7. So which is the correct option? The distance between the points is 9 units. Option number 1 is the correct option. That is 9 units. Distance between the points 4, 2 and 4, 10 is 8 units. Option number 1 is the correct option. That is 8 units. Find the distance between the points 1, 9 and 6, 9. That is 5 units. Option number 1 is the correct option. Find the distance between the points 4, 3 and 10, 3. So which is the correct option? Correct option is 6 units. Option number 2 is the correct option. Find the distance between the points 1, 9 and 1, 2. So which is the correct option? Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 7 units. That is 8 units. Option number one is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 10 math. The chapter we're working on is points, lines, and segments. The lessons we have covered today are congruent line segments, perpendicular bisector theorem, midpoint formula, and find the distance between the 2 points. You can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you. Or either you can write down the question in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So you can please write down the question in the chat box if you have any. Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye, everyone.